Hello everyone, nice to see you. To be honest, I will not follow with a very academic speech. I'm not used to. I'm more entrepreneurial, so excuse and pardon my English if some words are not very academic. But yes, I will lead towards transformation, digital transformation, but I would like to add this part of the intelligent layer. I believe it somehow connects also with this green attitude and green thinking. So it is also some intentions of the intelligence behind the intelligence of keeping our world safe and about circular economy. But just to start, why it gets messy and why it doesn't always these transformations happen as easy as that. And it's maybe not kind of quite clear what is meant by this mess on the screen. So, but I meant with this dust. And if you look actually in the vocabulary, then it comes up very interesting definition. It's like a very basic, straightforward. But if you think from technology side, if you think from the business side, what is equals, it's a legacy. And legacy, it's like a dust. It's not just a fixed legacy. It comes over and over. You try to clean it out, but it still pops up. And it's actually one of the blockers to get the house clean, to get the world clean. And this is actually will be what I will be going through this presentation. How actually we need to think through and what are the components so we can get to the better result. So moving from the what to do, because this is a very straightforward, right? Bigger clouds, faster mobile networks, better new cars. But these questions, if we want to think about sustainability and intelligence, we need actually to answer why we need to do that and how we need to provide that for the end users, whether it's a B2B, whether it's a B2C. And if we will start actually from that perspective, why, what are the challenges or what are the benefits people would like to get and how they would like to experience that from the user experience side, then actually we could come back to the more intelligent approach, right? You have probably seen this slide over and over in social media. I'm using this because I have seen that that people like to take pictures in conferences, and I think it's a very interesting slide to, because, sorry, back to the voice. We talk a lot about diversity. We talk a lot about the gender diversity, but we don't talk a lot about aging and about age diversity, right? I think it's important to raise this question. It's maybe not actual for all of us, right? We are pretty innovative, we are pretty active, we are clever, we are still young, but the total, at least Baltic, kind of this competence center, it's getting older and older, but there is also a very good point, right? These people, or the elderly people, they have a lot of experience, which is brought because of their life, because of the experiences through the different decades. And this empathy, or this EQ, is actually something you can't very quickly just learn on whether it's a LinkedIn or some learning boards. And this is what, in a lot of the cases, also for example, very fast-forward startups lacking, right? They're lacking empathy, they're lacking understanding of different segments. And so this is also something about how to do this digital transformation. Yes, you need to have the cool guys and girls on the board who are fluent into the new tech, who understands how the new tech should be applied. But you still need also to have these people in a team who actually values and understands also the whole ecosystem and how the empathy works, and they can understand all the touch points, how it will be reflecting these transformational changes. So we tap, this is the first this component I mentioned about the intelligent digital transformation. It is a mindset. And coming back to this statement about the legacy, I still think that the more legacy actually is in our mindsets rather in hardware or in some infrastructures, right? And the more we will talk within the companies, bigger or smaller, or in the high schools, our academic segment, how to change or how to get more flexible to these agile and different things which change on the go faster than we can adapt different governance models and policies. The better and the easier actually will come also this digital transformation, right? So tech is pretty up to date. We know that actually the main blockers are not on the tech side, it's more on this mindset and governance side. So I would just want to bring very straightforward examples about really doing the things digital or doing digital just for sake of saying that it's a digital, right? We know that a lot of the companies has in their visions and strategies, let's go digital, but we know the same examples here in Latvia, because there have been just scanned and saved as a PDFs a lot of the documents, and then it was named that it's a digital procedure, right? So it's no OCR involved, no analytics involved, just digital copies of the same paperwork, right? So it's not digital, right? It's a fake digital. It would be digital if you really would apply a layer of AI, a layer of analytics, and you can really fast forward optimize the outcomes of this new approach, let's say how you procedure some old or new materials, whether it's invoices or whether it's digital books or whatever, right? It's not a kind of a sales presentation, it's public available research Accenture conducts every year. It's technology vision, you can see that all around the public media. It's done in collaboration with the biggest universities across the world. It has an interviews of the top 200 different C-level management people, both who does procurement, both who does strategy, both who does infrastructure. And these kind of interlocks between the academic predictions and the business requirements is actually behind this research, right? I will just envision 2-3 things. As I said, you can look into this more in media afterwards. But again, the report says not so much about the tech in sake of tech. As I said, yes, we need faster connectivity. Yes, we need more secure clouds. Yes, we need more quicker in place edge computing and all that stuff. But we really need also to kind of think about how actually will that affect the end user or any other user who will be in using that, right? So we talking about the tech clash and few of the trends which this report covers is about the I in experience. So really looking forward, and I will bring also a few examples about that. AI and me, so it's again, we know that there is a lot of bias about artificial intelligence and how it will affect or is already affecting. More and more smart things are coming in our daily lives, not just as a small smart things, it's of course also about the robots. So this there is also covered about readiness from the tech side, from the legal side, from the attitude from the people. But also one of the things talks about the innovation DNA. It also was covered today already early this morning. So how companies design the strategy about the continuous and sustainable innovations, right? So just to tap very quickly in the first example about the I in experience, there is interesting name I heard on one podcast. It's about screenagers. This is about us actually, right? Because we spend so much time in mobile, in tablets, in the desktop. So it appeared for me surprised there is a term for that. It's a screenagers, right? And it is so, right? And also a lot of the businesses and digital businesses are actually knowing that fact, they're designing the experience towards that. For example, Netflix has done the new series for the Black Mirror, where you actually can interactively direct where actually it will lead. You can direct whether also some sounds will be differently played out, right? So more and more you can actually get into the shoes and blending this reality with your ideas and your willingness where you want to lead, right? So this picture, I think you know this Matrix movie. So it's really about you can choose, right? What you want to do and what you don't want to do. The other example is more about being more tailored to our needs, right? I haven't seen, although I haven't used the Bolt for a while, Uber states that once ordering Uber, you already can define what type of temperature you want to have in a cab, what type of music you want to have in a cab, whether you want to actually interaction with a cab driver, whether or not, right? So you can actually preset these things. Once you sit in, you're actually having this experience as you want, right? So it is about new tech, but it enables more experience for me as a person in a way I would prefer to. Another example from McDonald's. Again, it's a global perspective, just to set you in a context, right? Probably this example will not resonate to you, but you know the McDonald's concept is that they want to set that every country, every city has the same experience all over the world, right? But what they are now doing, having these more big data and more intelligence and real-time data, they are allowing kind of the employees and the office managers at concrete McDonald's offices that they can actually tailor the experience of the customers. So the dashboards of the products which are on the displays can be adjusted based whether it's on a temperature in that region, whether it's different traffic jams, whether there is some event nearby. So they give more and more freedom actually to tailor experience to the end office manager. And again, it's very much based on data. So it's not like, hey, I'm KRISTAPS, I just don't like, I don't know, for example, meat, I will not put the meat on the deck. No, it's really driven by the data and by the intelligence behind that, right? Another example, as I mentioned, is about this bias about the AI and different technologies. There is this tech clash, right? On one hand, we want to do this detox of the technologies. We bring more screen, what do you call it? Screen time, whether for the kids or for yourself. You're basically trying to avoid this tech too much, right? But at the same time, you expect more tailored approach and different benefits of using this tech, right? So it's pluses and minuses, but at the same time, we don't want to avoid this technology not being in overlaps, right? A lot of disruption happens in the healthcare industry, and this is again something people kind of on one thing, and of course with this flavor of GDPR, people on one hand don't want to share a lot of their data. On the other hand, you really can do a lot of this positive disruption in the healthcare, both for the hospitals who run the business and for us as end users, right? So there is more and more coming business cases with virtual assistants, virtual therapists, or different gadgets. You can track your health. So it's much quicker for the analysis for the healthcare industry. It's much more beneficial for you. So you don't need to have a break on your working time to go to the hospital. You can do a lot of things now more and more remotely. So there is a more video doctors through the call. Again, adding a layer of computer vision and the voice biometrics. There are already some indicative patterns can be detected. Or you can even do this virtual therapist at home, right? So you can go for a visit to the hospital just for the first visit, do a training program, record that, and then at home, just using your existing hardware, you can, by existing camera, now the technology allows that it basically acts the same way like Xbox, right? Like a Kinect. It tracks your body measures. It tracks whether you're doing those exercises correctly according to the program. And again, you saving a lot of the time. Hospitals saving a lot of the budget on not having premises which are partially used. So again, then there is a lot of benefits where, again, healthcare can invest for a better experience. And that's just one example. How much do I have? 5 minutes. 5. Okay, so tech is everywhere, but is really the value here. So we touched about the mindset, we touched about the technology progress, and the last but not least, I want to touch also about the business, right? So there is no reason to do to change the mindset, to use the technology if there is not a business case at the end of the day, right? So we call it a wise pivot, so probably more for the startups, but also for the big businesses. It is important to understand some points where to do these changes. Why? Because disruptions happens, but it's more important actually if you can lead these disruptions. So you can be the disruptor rather you would be disrupted by somebody else, right? And actually how you can do that, there will be a classical slide, most probably academic segment uses that as well, but it's very much about actually the trapped value, right? So, it's really about this gap. So as we shared examples, the technology progress it's really fast forward and accelerating in every minute, but the business, because of the different legacies and also the mindset, is actually right behind that. And if you overcome that, and this is coming back to a bit of the academic, if you come back to that, and if you do some changes in the core business, so example, you move, for example, for the classical, I don't know, retail to more mobile retail, and then you do this incremental kind of a gain and some additional money comes on top of that because you make your business more efficient, you can really look into the identifying new businesses and new, not just the business models, but also partnership models, new technologies on top of that, and you can grow, already test out different new things. So once the core business, as we used to know, is declining, you already will be having some new other offerings, new revenue streams to go it forward. With this, I'm kind of finalizing. Any questions now or later?
Later.
Okay. Thank you.